No. Open user. No. That's weird why it was asking me that. You're connected to a new network. If not properly secured, this network could be exposed to private data. This thing is garbage. I'm gonna try to take my. See, this is the issue. See what it's doing?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, so it's doing that, which means
if we.
I have two ways. You like that?
I'm just trying to figure out if I can pull it.
Let me go here. Let me go to this. Go to share screen. What the hell? Where'd it go? We want. It's supposed to show it. Not that one. Background. Oh. So if I have green screen, there it goes. Let's see. So I need it to bleed through.
What to bleed through?
My picture. Like the you see how let's see what's happening. So the shadows are causing this, or even just like little this shit's bleeding through off my skin. Like something with the light. I think this fucking camera might be making it too bright because it's on automatic.
Can't you change it?
So if I turn that off, see, now that's all fucked up. Oof. That makes me look better. Put that up there. Original HD original ratio. So video processing. Scale to fit shared content to zoom side by side. Silent system notification when sharing desktop. Maximize size. Enable remote. So it's. I think it's just too. Yeah. So make it hotter. Or you can do this to get an accurate color. So you see right here, this is how you get a read. If you click on it, you can. That's the problem. Is there's different colors. You see the shades. That's an issue.
Because then it translates into your background.
Yeah. So that light, shadows, fuck it all up. So that's why I'm trying to get it to read off that, but it's still better. But yeah, I just need a better green screen.
So you want these lowered? Or are they? Because I raised them all.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drop them.
We're gonna turn it off and do that. How low?
Just where they were last time. Test. Testing. Hello. We are rolling. All right. Ooh. Time to sing. Oh, here we go. Sing. La 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 lo. Yellow mellow kel. Hi. Fee fi. Bo bum. I need my fucking drums. Or my corks. Where are those corks at? I need to smoke a nice old shit. Yeah. I don't know if we want that one. It's like it's reflecting off my head. That is not a good sign. I don't know if I want that one. It makes me feel like
well, it's the only one on, so that also might be
Holy shit. We'll see.
Is this at the same? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I might have to
This
turn.
little guy. Try to get him on. Where's this little button? Okay, now how do you feel about this?
It's too bright. Hold on. Here. Way too bright. Shouldn't be able to. Time is it? 53. I need to get outside and smoke a cigarette before I lose
Hurry, run. Let's go. You could just vape like 50 times.
Yeah, I could, but
Where's your cigarettes?
it's by the door.
Do you want to go downstairs or go on your balcony?
I gotta go on the balcony. If you can grab them.
Yes. On it.
Oh, here we go. What do we have here? Dr. Bhatta, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes.
So do you want me to turn the video on, or?
If you don't mind, if you're able to do that. Excellent. Yeah. There you go. I like your background there.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't need my headphones then.
I'm not sure how that works with doing the recording off the phone with Zoom, if it's better with headphones or without headphones.
How does the sound come?
You sound great. I don't know how I sound, though.
You sound good as well, so.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll keep it on. You're going to record it audio mainly, or?
I'm going to do the majority of it will be audio, but I'm going to do promotions through video, through pictures, and what my intent after this recording, I'm going to create a graphic that illustrates your work in a unique way that also illustrates transformation. And I try to do that for everybody that attends and does an interview with me.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. And then I encode it with metadata to really spotlight our specialties and get the audience on a deeper level.
Yeah. Okay, so
well, Dr.
You look as good as it could be. I mean, I'm casual, so that's okay.
Yes, sir. I do appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate your time. Dr. Bhatta, welcome to your transformation station.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I am doing good. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I really do appreciate your time tremendously. I've been going through your work, and you have a lot of experience in the community of being in the health community, I should say. But can you explain to us as far as your title is what you do within the health community?
So for my work title, I'm Chief of Urology, and I specialize in robotic surgery and urology. So I've been in practice for a long time.
Yes, sir.
So that's who I am from the medicine point of view.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So how did this intermittent silence, how did you come upon this idea in your life's journey?
So I've been meditating for a long time. And one of the things in meditation is that the thoughts, your mind comes in the way most of the time. That's the main barrier. So how do we put something in our day-to-day life that can be helpful and also help you if you want to go in deeper meditation. And as I was working on that, I found that intermittent silence, which has its own four components, can guide, can be a doorway to deeper meditation. But by itself, it can be very helpful in giving brain some rest and also be applicable in day-to-day life. Like if somebody comes to you and says something, you are not compelled to respond immediately. You can have a strategic response. You will get that extra pause where you can think about what to say or how to respond. So it has some practical advantages, and also it becomes a doorway to meditation if you wanted to go deeper.
Are you saying self-awareness as far as being present?
So self-awareness is a little different than being silent. So when you are silent, yes, awareness is there, mindfulness is there. You have to have those, otherwise you'll fall asleep or you're not there. So those things have to be there, but at the same time, by being without words, or if by closing your mouth, which is one of the steps in intermittent silence, you are giving that part of brain rest, which carries on with the processing of those words or making those words happen. Similarly, if you close your eyes, the visual pathway gets a rest as well. So it does provide an extra step of resting to the brain.
Would it be like our brains are comparable to a word processor, a computer, meaning we have 70 tabs open and running, similar to how we are busy or productive. And if we were to close out those tabs, we can compare that to closing our mouths, our eyes, and allowing our brain to essentially catch up.
Yeah, I didn't think of that analogy, but that sounds like a good analogy. I mean, it is, um, we have 86 billions of neurons, and many of them, if you give them rest, they will be thankful to you.
It's very it's very interesting. Okay. So what have you noticed from your practice? What benefits have you reaped from intermittent silence?
So, intermittent silence, basically, you practice 10 minutes a day. But those 10 minutes, once you start practicing, then it starts coming inside your other 24 hours. It starts helping you in other parts of your life where this silence can give you that this mysterious personality rather than somebody who is an open book. And it can be a very good tool for when you negotiate, where you can have your words, and you have to speak sometimes. You don't want to be silent in an interview. So there is the role of speaking as well, but at least you can think about it before you speak, and that little extra pause will give you it. As famously, many famous people have been people who are silent, or more often more silent than many others.
And that's based off of being proactive versus reactive.
Absolutely. And it does percolate. It also, as you said, mindfulness and awareness, those things also become part of it, because when you are silent, you are more of an observer. And so you can observe yourself, you can observe others,
Mhm.
and be more mindful. It just adds to your general personality and day-to-day life.
We spoken on the phone last week, and I'm having a little trouble still grasping this because I get it confused with almost similar to mindfulness practices, such as box breathing, where
Yeah.
I that in my own time to help me do the things that I need to do and be aware of what's going on. From the outside looking in, how can we differentiate between mindfulness and intermittent silence?
So mindfulness is a part of, I mean, you need your, so mind has two parts. One is minding and the other is mindfulness. At least in my description, that's how I describe in my Relax app and, in my mind. So mind has two components. One is minding and the other is the mindfulness. Mindfulness is something that you need. And minding is something that you want to give rest to. And how do you give minding the rest is by just, so I said four components. So one is, close your mouth. The second one is close your eyes. Third one is become a silent listener. So any sound that is surrounding you, any sound, there is no sound is a distraction. And you just listen to it without processing it, without giving any weight to it, without judging it. Let it just pass through. And your thoughts, which is the part of the minding, let it also pass through. Just be an observer to it. So all these four steps are there. Mindfulness is like a camera, a camcorder. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. So in these 10 minutes, yes, you want your mindfulness to be there so that you record your, something that's watching your silence. That observer is the mindfulness. So yes, mindfulness comes into play,
Mhm.
but the silence part has those four structured components.
That's
And
really interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off there, sir. That's really interesting. Is this practice set up for a specific target audience?
I don't know if there is a target audience because it is going to help all of us, but I have been working to see if I can get it into schools and younger age group. As one of my friends, he's a CEO of a construction company. It's a large construction company. I was talking to him about this, and he said, wait a minute, when we were in school, sometimes our teachers will come and say, you know, put your head down and 5 minutes of quiet time when they were in school.
Mhm.
This is something a little more structured, but that's what it is, quiet time with yourself. And if it becomes a component in school system or younger age group when you start practicing, you can build your personality accordingly and have that silence component in your life, because most of the time we're very busy. We are busy either talking to somebody or watching movies or with our cell phone. We have structured our lives so that silence doesn't come into play in most of our lives.
I really do agree with you on that. Can we rewind a little bit? You were talking about the, it's almost like a ripple from this practice. As long as we stay consistent and consecutive, we can start to see the benefits. What benefits have you seen from your process?
So the benefits, of course, is as we talked about, your responses to emails or conversations, those or negotiations. But the biggest benefit I see is how you deal with emotional storms. So this is a structured, like, if you are practicing tennis, that's one thing. You have a practice game with your coach or with your friend. But when you go in a match, it's a totally different situation. So the same thing, you practice in a controlled environment, but when an emotional storm comes, like when you become angry or when you become frustrated or you are down, dejected, you can somehow, if you have practiced this for some time, you can have that a little separation between your emotions and yourself. You may be able to see that gap. And the moment you see your emotional storms, as if you are seeing it from outside, somehow it tries to fade away, or it reduces its bite or sting. And sometimes you may want to use anger, but then that's a different thing. You're not under the control of anger, but you are controlling the anger.
Yes. I definitely understand you on a very deep level with that. I continuously work and in my own time on my routines I do in the morning. And when I don't do my routines, I can see and feel a difference in my reactive state when I'm having a conversation with somebody. If they say something I don't agree with, it's like an automatic response. No, I don't agree. But when I do mindfulness practices, I'm able to, I can feel the transparency within my own thoughts, kind of like halting me and it's like, hold on, try to look at it from their point of view because I control my emotions.
Exactly. So,
But can you give our listeners a snapshot on your history, on where you were, where you grew up, and how that led into the medical field, and then how did the medical field lead into the creation of your most recent book that's been out and your app?
so yeah, I mean, I grew up in India in a small village. And one of the thing, of course, when we grow up, you want to be something. And my mother had this dream. She wanted me to be a doctor, and somehow it translated into a reality. So um, that's the doctor's path. But at the same time, I was very interested from the beginning in spirituality or exploring myself, I would say, because sometimes spirituality and religion kind of get mixed up. But it's more of a exploration. I mean, deeper inside, why do we exist, or where do we go when we die? And these conversations happen many times, and we just let it pass. So I did, even when I was in medical school, when I first joined, I was more into meditation. And of course, I did the medicine, I did well in that. But I spent a lot of time doing meditation or going to, um, yeah, I met a lot of so-called, spiritual gurus, and learned a lot in doing that. And
When you
went to meditation camps, like a week or 10 days camps. And it
with the
was, it
time that
was, life was good. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
have one question to I'm just out of curiosity with this time that you spent doing these meditation practices, was that for your own benefit?
Yes and no. I mean, I did it because I enjoyed it. But yes, it did benefit me. One of the things, Greg, um, it's hard to prove, but if you are on to a path which is, like not only meditation, but anything you want to do good in the world, somehow the universe kind of aligns with you, supports you. You may not see that obviously. It's because you can't have a side by side comparison, but I totally believe that it does happen. So, yes, um, it helped me in both sides. That's what I was trying to say. It helped me spiritually, but also it helped me grow and be a good doctor.
That's interesting. I like that the universe just aligns in the way that it's supposed to be if you're consistent with your passions, with your desired outcome. And a lot of us we can't really see that unless we look back on it. At least I've noticed that with the average person. They can kind of see it from looking back, but with people who practice this mindfulness, intermittent silence, it's like you can almost see the play by play happening in the present moment, where you're able to detach essentially from your body and kind of see the two directions the direction you're going, or the direction you could be going if you stay consistent with these practices.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it, Greg. That's very nicely put. And new doors do open, and new experiences do happen. So it's not like there is an end point of mindfulness or end point of meditation. Um, it depends upon which direction of meditation you are taking. And like one of the meditation described in our app, Relax with 2x, RELAXX. So you can go to relax.org and download the app. But one of the meditation I really love and is called Yoga Nidra, which is a conscious deep sleep. And it sounds contradictory. How can you be conscious when you are deep sleep? But it is a real phenomena. And somehow, if you get into that, you can use that Yoga Nidra, or you can use your sleep to brainstorm, and some new ideas can come there. And so you are sleeping, your sleep is surrounding you, sleep is cuddling you all around, but it's still you are aware. You can use your mind to process things. Of course, you're not moving, you're not keeping your eyes open, but at the same time, you can use your brain as you want. I mean, you can just not do anything, or you can think about something. And many of my thoughts and things that have come up from there.
So with that app, which is excellent transition, I want to get to the book here in a second. With this app, are you saying that it helps me sleep and works my brain at the same time? Like, can you explain what's playing when I'm in my REM sleep, or REM cycle, I should say?
So REM sleep, and those are the, of course, scientific descriptions of sleep, REM and non-REM. But this one is like, there is a practice and there is a whole process in the app. So just before you go to sleep, you just switch it on. It will guide you through, take you to your sleep, and you keep a portion of your awareness going through with you in the sleep. So then you will suddenly see that the sleep, I mean, if you do a practice, I mean, it took me a month when I started feeling this. You really go there and then you see the sleep coming and surrounding you. So sleep is not something you can force upon yourself. I mean, we create situation. We lie down, we put the comforter on, we switch off the light. So you create a surrounding where sleep happens to you. In the same way, meditation happens to you. These things you cannot force on yourself. You can just prepare the grounds for it. So when the sleep comes, it really, you can feel the sleep, beautiful feeling. And if I can get it, you can get it. So it's nothing, no magic to it. It's a question of practicing it for a certain amount of time. And it's about half an hour, 45-minute meditation. So it takes you through down there. And then you just are there, and you'll find that your awareness has now gone deeper. So it's not like conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. You can take your awareness down there
Interesting.
to a
Okay.
deeper level, and you still be fresh with the sleep. So it's not like you are disturbing the sleep. You just can experience the sleep that in a way that you have never experienced before.
That's really interesting. What's the name of that app called again?
The app is Relax, RELAXX. And in that, there are several meditations. There are many chakra-based meditation, but one of the meditation is called Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is basically yogic sleep.
Wow. So how does that play out? I know we're going off the beaten path here, but I'm just really curious.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there is a music, and it guides you. It takes you through the. So you just follow the instructions and the music. Just go with the flow, and do it for every night. I mean, you will go to sleep every night, right? So just before going to sleep, go with the music, go with this meditation. And one of the thing about um, any of these meditations, Greg, and I always mention this. This is a very old book called Bhagavad Gita, or Gita in short. And in that book, Krishna asks Arjun, that's about 5,000 years ago, how do I control my mind? This mind is always wavering and going all places.
Mhm.
And his answer was so beautiful. I love that answer. He says, practice, Arjun, practice. So there's nothing better than practice. It's like we practice, and I always say tennis or golf to be good. The same way you practice meditation to get to where you want to go. And, you will always experience something new and something deeper. One of the mistakes that happens, Greg, in meditation, and I'm sure in mindfulness, is like you have experienced something beautiful and you want that back. You want that to happen again. And somehow the more you want it, the less it's likely to happen. So just let new experiences come.
I really do like that, Krishna. If we can backtrack on two things that really have popped in my head. For those that have trouble sleeping, I'm guilty of that. Is this app able to help me realign my chronology into an organized fashion with meaning I'm trying to get back on my routine and somehow I get sidetracked, or I think I might stay up 24 hours to catch up on my work when in reality that isn't going to do me any good but do more harm. Would that help me get back on track?
Yes, I think, yes, it will. With a little point that I want to mention here is that it basically improves the quality of sleep, not the quantity of sleep. So when you do a lot of meditation, you may not sleep or may not need that many hours of sleep, but what you get is, complete relaxation or refreshing um, life before and after. So uh, I won't say that you will sleep longer, but whatever you sleep, the quality will be really amazing.
I do like that a lot, and it's very relatable. With the practice, is there a right way to practice?
Um,
I guess that's kind of a loaded question here.
so there are many meditations. One thing I believe that you should have a meditation package. Like if you do practice a yoga nidra, practice it for 2 or 3 months. You know, because that's one thing. But in the morning you can have another meditation. Like there is a meditation there called Power Chakra. So I'm the first one, as far as I know, who has taken mantras and put it, associated with chakra. So this power chakra meditation, I wouldn't do it at night because you may not sleep well because it creates so much of an energy. But yeah, you can do power chakra in the morning, you can do yoga nidra at night, or you can do mindfulness, uh, in the morning for 10 minutes. And um, all these meditations or mindfulness practice or intermittent silence, you do it for short intervals, but their effect lasts, um, maybe whole day or a week. But you still need to practice to stay um, really. The funny thing is that once you start doing it, it kind of becomes addictive.
Yeah.
Like I have been meditating, and I know I love that, and I keep doing it. Um, so that's one of the things I like about this.
It's really interesting when you come across those types of people. They look at you and that's an addiction when I can just reply that it's not that or an obsession, but it's a passion. And that brings me to my next question as far as somebody who doesn't practice this way of fitness. I'll say with fitness, it's a mental consistency. But is intermittent silence a rigid theory or is there data to back up its claims?
So intermittent silence is a new terminology that I started. So there may not be a lot of data based on intermittent silence, but there is a lot of work done on silence itself. And that silence was not that structured. So yes, I mean, if you Google silence, there is a lot of videos and articles on that. Intermittent silence should not be much different because it's a more structured way of practicing silence.
And you said structure. I think that's very important is that when we wake up and just react to the day, we're taking on what life is throwing at us. But when we add structure, we can prioritize what needs to be done. And that's almost the same way of thinking when it just comes down to personal development within mindfulness, within intermittent silence, within physical fitness during like a workout. If you structure the application, it can be very beneficial.
True. There is another way to look at it, Greg. All these things that we talk about, like silence or being proactive or responding properly, can be taught to us, and our mind will learn by discipline. And that's what we do. Many courses, there are many courses out there how to be successful, and they have 5 points or 10 points that we all learn. So, what is the difference? I mean, why should we do intermittent silence or meditation or mindfulness? So, the difference is here. I can be silent, I can impose silence on you, me myself. Suppose we are talking about silence. So, I can read about silence, I can practice silence, I can just become that. But what intermittent silence or meditation will do is that it will grow from inside. So it's no more imposed silence. Now silence grows from within you. So there are people who are successful and they have never practiced intermittent silence or meditation, but they have learned how or trained their mind to be the same by imposing on themselves. You see the difference I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Is that they gotten per- successful through their actions, through their hard work, but they sacrificed their own the vitality or well-being, their own well-being of that success. Meaning, in other ways of saying that, is that they got everything they wanted. They're just not happy inside.
Yeah, because it didn't grow with them. They imposed it on themselves. So there is some sort of kind of, pressure they put on themselves to get to where they were. The app it talks about, the app talks about it. And I generally talk about that we, or most people talk about body and mind. There is another component which I call the flame or the flame of consciousness. We all have a body, a mind, and an individual consciousness, not the general cosmic consciousness, but we all have individual consciousness. So these three elements, we focus on body and mind. We ignore the flame of consciousness. Some of us are born with a higher flame of consciousness and don't burn out. But there are people who don't have that same level of consciousness and they don't work on it, but they have worked tremendously or a high amount for the body and mind, which has brought the success to them, but their flame has been left behind. And that's what you are saying, that that portion is out of sync.
Wow, that is very well put. And I'm just catching up with you on the complexity of that when you try to think of that on a very, very deep level. That is very interesting. Is that from your writing? I came across your book and it really grabs my attention. Journey from Life to Life.
No, this part is not mentioned in Journey from Life to Life, but it is in the app. And I have a new book coming out, which is Art of Intermittent Silence and Meditation. So that's going to put, many of these things in that.
That is awesome. Is there a little piece of information you could share from your new book coming out?
Yes, I mean, basically, you can find a lot of that information on relax.org.
Yes.
But yeah, once the book is kind of ready, it should be in a month or two.
I'll be sure to link everything that you've spoken about in the show notes for our audience to be able to click the link to.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Thanks for giving me this platform.
So, is there any steps that we can start applying intermittent silence to our daily life for those that are non-believers, but then those who are the innovators that love to eat this stuff up, that love that 1% change in their overall well-being?
So for believers and non-believers, I have only one simple advice, Greg. Mind, be friends with your mind, because mind is going to be with you whether you like it or not. Don't call it names, because whatever you want to do, mind has to agree first. It has to, it has to give you the permission that, okay, now you can go and meditate, or now you can go and practice intermittent silence, or you can go and eat good food. So be friends with mind. Don't think of mind as adversary, which many of us start thinking at times.
I like that. Is there any general guidelines that we can give our listeners so they can start this process of adding intermittent silence into their lives?
Yeah, I mean, you can add intermittent silence in many spaces, like if you're flying. I mean, in COVID times, we are not flying. So you are flying, you are in the plane 10 minutes. You can put that timer on in Relax app, and it will guide you through the 10 minutes. You are waiting on the airport. I mean, you can just close your eyes and be mindful about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do it when I'm hiking, or if I'm going to the coast of Maine. I'll find a bench or a rock and lie down 10 minutes and put this little timer on, and 10 minutes of silence. Listen to the breeze, the leaves rustling, the birds chirping, waves crashing. I mean, those sounds really, the nature sounds help you go deeper in your intermittent silence.
Are you an outside kind of person, Doctor?
I love hiking. I mean, I'm a bad golfer, but I love golfing.
The reason why I asked, I came across one of your videos you were giving to a class, and it caught my attention when I believe this is the first time you came to Missouri, was on your honeymoon, and you happened to stop by this park, and it was just kind of funny because it's like out of all the places, that's where I grew up, and that's where I currently live.
So there is a different Missouri in India.
Oh wow!
It's a hill station. That was my honeymoon.
Oh,
So, so not the Missouri here.
oh yes. Well, I'm out.
But yeah, that was yeah, we love that place. We still go back sometimes.
That's excellent. I really do like that. Um, I just have to start wrapping things up to stay with our timeline. But as we begin to close, could you prescribe some good advice and some bad advice for our listeners to start implementing today and be aware of that's currently out there?
Well, try to make it simple. That way, that's my advice. So if you are practicing intermittent silence, you can do it as we talked about, different spaces where you want to do it. For mindfulness, you can do it right in the morning when you wake up, just 10 minutes, live life in slow motion. But it's always good to do any of these practices, same time, same place, and same duration, because somehow that place and time starts waiting for you. You will start feeling that it's calling happening from within, as if the time, place, and the space starts working with you, and you just become part of the whole universe, and rather than just be an isolated island.
Sometimes I like being in isolation. I'm an introvert, so I've always noticed myself kind of fading into the distance from crowds because I like that peace. I don't like to be around chaos.
So introvert is okay, but introvert can still be part of the universe, um, rather than an island. So I didn't mean uh, be part of the universe is like you have to be outgoing, you have to socialize, you have to go party.
Ooh, okay.
You can be with yourself, but the trees, the wind, the sound, I mean, just expand your inner self to fill the room, as or fill the house, or fill the whole entire surrounding. You see what I'm saying? You are
Yes,
still introvert, but still you are not a small introvert.
I like that. No,
Yeah,
it's like allowing yourself to be yourself and embracing your vulnerabilities as your authentic self.
that's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah.
Thank you. Um, a weird question and a run on statement. There are roughly 8 billion people on this planet. If you had a chance to connect with them, and out of those people, people who are capable of getting an email and responding, what would you send to each one of those individuals?
Spend some time with yourself, and that could be intermittent silence, that could be mindfulness, that could be meditation, but get into the habit of spending that 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day with yourself. Be an introvert for 10 minutes, and somehow it's going to transform your life.
I like that. For our listeners, how can they get in touch with you, and where can they find this app and learn more about your upcoming books?
So on my website, relax with 2x, relaxx.org, there is download link for the app. There is also a contact form, and please do encourage your listeners to send me a contact question or whatever, and I'll try to respond.
Excellent. That's fantastic. I believe, yeah, that is everything. I really do appreciate you coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me. It was very nice to talk to you before this show, and of course, nice to be here.
And that will wrap things up. Is there anything that you wanted to get on the air that you didn't get to address?
No, I think I'm complete now, and
Okay. Well, awesome. I will pass your information along with other people that I network and let them know what you're doing. I try to do that with everybody I interview, and I'll share your information. And with the show notes that I created, it'll be a little step process. If you wouldn't mind being able to generate a little review that helps generate more listeners when I have credibility behind my work, then that allows the ripple to kind of
Yeah.
come out of that. And I'm going to create a graphic art for if you utilize Facebook or Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Yeah.
What's the username to that, to those?
So I can send you the link, but Twitter is KBHA and Instagram is KBHA.
Okay, awesome. Can I link that in the show notes as well? So if
Please do. Yeah.
wonderful, I will do that, and I will create a couple graphics, and I'll have that set. I'll encode it. Is there anything particular you want on there that really says intermittent silence?
It's time to relax.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's interesting. When you relax, when you do mindfulness, you find peace. And when you find peace, you find happiness. And peace and happiness together bring success. So I often say that, relax and then you will find peace, happiness, and success.
That is very well put. Krishna, I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Alrighty, I'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
Bye.
Great.